Hey, this is Notser, and this is a look at aiming. Aiming's important, and my first technique that I take advantage of is I visualize an oval around the target where my cursor will be located. If it's heading towards me, moving away, left to right, this oval is a nice guide for me about where roughly I need to keep the cursor. So, we're in a Tier 5 battleship, Congo, got AP loaded. Short range shot to an enemy Congo. First thing you want to do, aim for the waterline. When you use AP, your goal is to land the shot so it'll go into the hull and go into the citadel. Wargaming defines the citadel as propulsion, ammo for the main turrets, and everything in between. So, where the front turret starts and the back turret stops, that is vulnerable to armor-piercing rounds. Obviously, a citadel will give you more damage than just a regular penetration, but not every shot will be a citadel. And with AP, the target must not have an extreme angle or the round will bounce off or ricochet. Much like tanks do, Russians love angled armor, increases the thickness, so it's harder for you to penetrate, and if you can't penetrate, you ricochet. Same general idea with the hull of a ship. The heavily armored center will have a better chance of causing a ricochet. Now, he was turning, and I assumed he would continue the turn, but he didn't, and I was ineffective with that shot. Now he's sailing towards me, so I'm aiming a little bit down and forward, and I will make a critical mistake with this first shot. I have not aimed enough forward of the target, and you can see one of the shells bounced off and we did no damage. Now I'm getting lower and more into the front half of the ship because I have my back half turrets firing. They have a better angle where they can penetrate, and they do so. Now, here's an HE example. This is a long-range shot. HE and AP at long range have the same basic aim strategy. You want to make sure that your round can hit the deck. AP, you will penetrate, and you want to get into the citadel with AP. With HE, you want to hit the deck, explode, do module damage. AA turrets, propulsion, main turrets, secondary turrets, all that stuff is up there. And with the on-contact explosion, you have a better chance of taking them out, and you have a better chance of setting the ship on fire. The deck of the ship is where HE needs to land in order to have a better chance to set it on fire. A good example of this, I would say, is if you're going up against a carrier and you're firing really low where the explosion has no way of getting up to the deck, you'll find that it's rather hard to set it on fire because you're not hitting any place that isn't metal. And with every ship, you have 4 potential locations to set them on fire, and you want to try and spread out your damage to do so. Now, long range for both, same strategy, right? You want to penetrate. But clearly HE has an extra mechanic, both at long and short range, with the spreading of the fire. AP, you don't really want to do that. You want to try and maintain accuracy on the center of the ship, or under the turrets if they're super spread away. But you could see the effectiveness, and he's near my max distance, so this is very much plunging into him. Another thing that you can see is that I'm using my oval. It clearly allows me to get a gauge on where I should aim based on where the enemy ship is headed. And I'm going to use the same strategy against this enemy Cleveland. He's heading towards me. He starts out at long range and he moves into short range. Again, long range, plunging fire, HE, AP, really doesn't matter. You want it to land on the deck. AP will go through, HE explodes. As he moves into medium and short, where we don't have enough plunge, I like to aim my cursor towards the mid point of the hull. And as I do this, the shell should land on the superstructure above, do more damage than it would if it just impacted the hull. And that's with HE at short range. Whereas, AP at short range, aim for the waterline. And if the enemy is moving away or coming towards you, you need to adjust. You can use generally the rate of meters that he's moving in. So he's doing about 100 meters a second. And you consider that, you adjust your cursor measurement, maybe 500 meters down. If it takes you 5 seconds, you should be on target, right? And you kind of do that in your head. You kind of just get used to the rate. But that's what's happening. And now he's obviously close. And we're going to do exactly what we said. We're aiming, center of the hull. And we ideally would like it to hit center mass. We need to lead him a little bit more than we do. You can see that I'm using the line to get a general idea of where I want to position on the ship. Those little measurements are basically 500 meters. Every large one is a kilometer. So that's a good gauge of how much you need to lead. Whatever ship you're going after, destroyers, you need to lead more. US battleships, you lead less. And that's generally how I aim, and I have a lot of success this way. I hope this helped you out. I hope you can have better aim and have more success. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.